Continuing media scrums with head swimming coach Mickey Wender, Andrew Scoggin, Agata Naskaret. Coach, we'll get into it a little bit later with the National Army going to Indianapolis. But first of all, kind of congratulations on the conference titles. If you can kind of give us a quick recap of that meet from a couple weeks.
Thank you, Chris. We were just talking about it outside. It's even though it's 7 in a row, and even though it's men and women, it feels really good to win a championship. And for all of our first time people, it's many of them first ever. So we don't take it lightly. We celebrated and earned, I thought, a hard fought victory. The conference is a lot better as you've seen. And so it wasn't a walk in the park, and especially on the men's side, they had to get up and make it happen. To have 10, we've discussed this before. In swimming, you can only peak every so often, and one of our sort of missions is to only have to do it twice a season. And so 11 of our top guys unrested, unshaved. They learned a lot, Andrew being one of them, about how to perform at a championship when you're not at your best. And but thank you. It was fun.
Andrew, Coach kind of talked about that, being kind of fighting through some things that you were able to do so and claim your first individual conference title. Congrats on that. And what did that kind of feeling feel like, knowing you were able to do that after sitting being behind some great former teammates?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Ben was always fun to practice and race all the time, but it was always kind of defeating, losing to him all the time. So it was good to get that first win, and it was fun to know that kind of work that you had put in has paid off, and yeah, it was fun.
Agata, you were able to get a national record back in November, and at least an altitude adjusted one here a couple of weeks ago. What was kind of fighting through a little bit of fatigue for you, but still able to get those wins and lead your team to victory like Coach had talked about?
To be honest, it was just like so much fun to go into RMACs and just like winning those events. Especially next to me with Taylor, which this is kind of, like last year we lost Lauren White. So it was just fun to have someone taking her place and taking over that. And I think the most fatigue, I don't know, like I was just having so much fun, and like coming into the nationals is only just excitement and just fun.
Coach, we hit on it, definitely a small Army going to nationals program record, 33 swimmers, 12 divers, and 2 relay only. Got to feel good to kind of have everyone through, and a few that kind of got through a little more difficult than others, but able to supplement the numbers you got going next week.
Feel really good about it. When you graduate a Ben Sampson and a Benny Nagy and some of our real talent people that were able to go to the nationals and win races, we told them on the first day, I remember standing in front of the team and saying, it's a different model for us to be successful and to continue to improve. We need every single one of you to qualify and get themselves there. And we came very close to the limit. Once we get to Indy, I'm pretty optimistic that our divers will perform well and will be at the limit, which is a really good problem to have. I mean, it'll be sad for some people to not get to compete, but it's a team effort. It's a different approach, and so far so good, but we have very little margin of error once we get there, and we're going to have to use our superpower, which is coming from elevation and going to sea level and taking these races out in a different way. And we've been working on that and talking about it too, but so far so good. We got the numbers that we needed there, and we'll go see what we can do.
See, it's not really a case of been there, done that for you, but you know what is in store. Does that kind of help calm you before, or is it just like, no, this is going to be nerve wracking and you just got to deal with it?
As I said, it's just like excitement and fun. And I think coach knows me, I love to race. And when we have the aerobic practices, it's as coach is saying, you just tolerate them. I'm not really having fun during that time. But I do love to race. So when I'm behind the block, I know exactly what I need to do. And obviously sometimes it's not how we want to go, but sometimes it is what it is. So we're gonna see how it's gonna be, but I think I'll do all my best what I can. So yeah, I'm just excited.
Let's say, and Andrew, a lot of guys have been there before, and there's a lot of guys last chance type of thing, and everybody, like you said, kind of relied on Ben a lot last year. But the learning that you guys have done, does it kind of also kind of get you ready for this week, and you can taper and shave, so it'll be even better?
Yeah, a lot of the learning that we kind of relied on this year was there's a lot of seniors graduating this year. I think there's a total of, like 7 men going that are seniors or fifth years to this NCAA. So that's kind of what we relied on a lot with these underclassmen and trying to show them pretty much how it's done and trying to teach them the ways and show them how we do things. And I think with that experience, I think it'll be good for those younger guys at the NCAA and knowing that kind of how we've been there before and seeing how we act day to day, and they can kind of learn from that. So I think it'll be good. I think we've learned well so far.
Patty, can I interject on that? Because I am so grateful to our competitors through the course of the season. And I'll admit, I take a lot of pride in the fact that our men in particular were 1-6, but still ranked as one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country based on our performance. And the fact that we have gone toe to toe with the University of Utah and the University of Wyoming and BYU and Air Force time and time and time again. And in most cases, they've gotten the best of us. But the learning that you talk about, I think, happens through that adversity and being battle tested and knowing that they can throw their best at us, but we've seen better swimmers all year through the course of our season. So just wanted to.
Obviously, you guys have the opportunity to send so many athletes, and especially so many younger freshman athletes, to nationals this year. How important is that for building a program and for sustaining the culture of that program?
Everything matters in terms of culture. And, one of our core values is we need aspirational athletes, right? People that come here, if they're going to be part of our team, they need to want to be as good as they can possibly be. And it just goes along with it, right? If you're just happy to be here, you will be miserable with me as your coach every day. And so that's one of the things that we're really, on top of is how important is this to you, and getting themselves there. I look at all these guys, Brody Kajurian, Mauricio Posadas, and Richard Schmiedefeld and Ben Vester. You talk about all these first-time national swimmers, but the expectation is they're going to go there and perform. Not that they necessarily have to win. Andrew has to win. I'm just kidding. Aga has to win. But they just need to race hard. So it's an important part of it.
You eat pressure for breakfast, right?
It's hard sometimes with Taylor, especially. She's on my toes,
Coach, I was just curious. I mean, you had mentioned that, you've just seen the RMAC become a lot more competitive. I was just curious to hear what you attribute that to.
Well, Simon Fraser University, for one, has added a tremendous amount of talent to the league. And then I think the other programs have just slowly but surely been getting better. But when you have Simon Fraser, who's Tori McClensick is arguably one of the best swimmers in Division II. No offense, but they're right there, and this kid Marcus Mack, and they've got a lot of talent, and so it's just sort of elevated everything. A rising tide raises all ships, as they say, and the conference is getting better, and it's a full conference now. There's full complement of men's teams and women's teams, and it's a great swimming league.
Question of the week, kind of a off the topic one. Aga might have a good answer for this. We're gonna like this one. A rare or interesting food that you've had sometime in your life, and a little bit of a backstory of how that came to be.
Well, I got a good one. When I went to Egypt for Mahmoud's wedding, we had pigeon, and that was weird. It's different.
In 2008, I got to go to Beijing, China, and coach at the Olympics. And they took us out to dinner, and I ate fish eyes. And it was what it sounded like. But I ate them. My birthday was yesterday. I turned 58, and Olivia Hansen made me some very unique Swedish pastries. So I had those within the last 24 hours.
I think for me, it's going to be snails that I ate in Paris. It was very weird, but also good. I really like that. So, yeah.
What Polish food should we try that would be new to us?
Pierogies, guys. Just pierogies. It's so good.
All right. Well, thank you. Good luck next week in Indianapolis.
Thanks,
Thank
Chris.
you.
Thanks, everybody.